Yeah, good to go.
Right, well, I am very...
Yeah, go on.
Yeah.
You fucking wanker.
80 million, what?
You're a turford.
80 million.
You just got to Lifestyle Sports and Boy.
Yeah.
Harry and his finest.
Jesus Christ. Fuck's sake.
Well, lads, on that note, I don't think there is anywhere else to start.
Oh.
Leicester United, the weekend. I think a couple of us might have predicted it in the other show. I think, Shane, you might have called Leicester to win.
Yeah.
I think I called it.
I think I said draw, but yeah.
I
said score draw, but fucking hell.
But what happened, lads?
Pretty
That
start.
happened.
El fucking SpongeBob Squarehead, Harry Maguire. Destroying us from the get-go, he was.
Why would you play this guy? Like, he hasn't trained, and Solskjaer came out afterwards and said, "Oh, he only trained on the grass the day before with us, which was running."
Yeah.
Why would you play him? He's missed best part of a month.
Like
His decisions, I've said before, his decision making is suspect. And up until that young boys game, I was backing Solskjaer, give him time. And every game since, it's just been how can he not see these things happening on a pitch? And then them other share of assholes beside him, like it's hurtful, especially when Liverpool was the early kickoff. You watch them do what they do to Watford and you go, Christ, they're good. Turn on the United game and it's just so upsetting.
But is the problem, I mean, I know we spoke lots about Ollie in, Ollie out, and I think you might even have to change the name to his podcast, I think, if we keep going on about it anymore. But is the problem his management, or is it the players? I mean, they're talking about these 5 attacking players now. They reckon they can't play together. The midfield 4 and the man up top. And they can't play together now. You need someone in the midfield to do the running work. Is that true? Or, I mean, City seem to get away with it. All right, maybe different calibre of player, but, you know, what is the issue? Is it Ollie? Or is it the players, or do they both have the shoulders of play?
It's a mixture of a few things. Like, Ollie's just not experienced. I was the same as Ed. My turning point was pretty much the same, the young boys game. You ask anyone who knows me, I was backing him. Even like Howley, who does the betting pick show, he was Ollie out from a fucking year ago or something. And I was always arguing with him. I wanted to work because of who he is. But when you look at it logically and you take the emotion out of it, like, he's just not qualified enough. And he's done okay, but that's it. It's just okay.
But is there, sorry to cut you off, is there danger when you say he's done okay? Is it not he's done okay compared to Mourinho's last season? Because don't forget, Mourinho come in, whether he was liked or disliked, he did come in and win trophies for you. The second in the league, when he actually said it was one of the biggest achievements of his career, now he's actually looking like he's aged quite well. So is there a danger? People say he's done okay, but they're excusing it because they're comparing it to Mourinho's last season rather than his old tenure.
Like, you know, I don't think many United fans, like, no one was content when Mourinho was there, really. He was disrupting everything, the way he handled the media and all. It was just constant negativity. And, like, it has been nice to not have so much of that unnecessary negativity with Ollie. Ollie has been somewhat better with the media and the interviews and stuff like that. But he's, you know, he done an interview today, I think it was, and he was saying, like, he has excellent backroom staff and all of that, and he's really happy with how things are going. And this, like, how are you happy? We're scraping points here and there, and we're dropping
because he
points.
can't believe he's United manager still 2.5 years later. That's why he's happy. He is. The Frank Lampard thing, I said it last week, he's our Frank Lampard. He's just got this by default, and he can't believe he's still there. And he's still there because he's just saying yes. He's not disrupting like Mourinho did. Mourinho called out Ed Woodward, he called out the Glazers, he called out players, and everybody was unhappy. I went to, I think it was United Sevilla in the Champions League. We got knocked out, and it was the first time I've ever been to a United game where I've heard booing, and that happens every week. But I don't think that will happen with Solskjaer because of what he done as a player.
Yeah.
But how can he stand after again watching United get battered by Leicester, not just beaten, battered by Leicester, and still be smiling after the game. I made a few mistakes. Be man enough to walk away then.
It's the same shite every fucking week. Every interview, post-match interview, every Instagram story from all the players. Like, it's not just Ollie, and it's not just the team behind them. It is the players as well. Like, they're not stepping up. These are fucking top-paid professionals. These are grown men. They have to know. Like, they all know how to play football. So
I said about Pogba in the France game, in the Nations League final, Pogba played in a deeper role, and he bossed that game in the second half. Maybe not so much in the first half, but in the second half he did. He plays in that deeper role. Matic, fair enough, Matic can't get around the pitch and move legs, but neither could Pirlo, neither could Lam. Jorginho can't really either.
No.
They've speed of thought and they think ahead of what's going to happen. They get into the right positions. There's just such a misbalance between the whole squad. We brought in Sancho for a fortune. He ran amok in Germany at Dortmund, created chance after chance on the right wing. We pay a fortune for him, put him on the left wing when we already had Martial, Rashford, and Ronaldo who comes in off the left, Pogba who played on the left. Like, I just don't get his decision making at all. Again, he took Sancho off, and Sancho looked kind of in control of what he was doing. He looked a bright sparky building into the game as the game was going to go on, but then all of a sudden he's hauled off to bring Rashford on, who done nothing apart from put the ball in the back of the net once. It's
the style of play. There's a problem here because there's too many forwards to choose from, and you can't keep them all happy. And
there is no style of play.
No, this is like Ronaldo up top is a target man, but that's not how we're playing. Like, you have Sancho on the left, so he's running up, he's cutting back, and then looking to do balls across. Greenwood on the right, running up, cutting back, and then trying to shoot or put crosses in. But very rarely do you have Wan-Bissaka, overrun Greenwood, and you can't rely or trust Wan-Bissaka to do an overlap and then swing a proper ball in. Do you know what I mean? The whole thing is just unbalanced, and it's not enjoyable to watch at all. It's been a long time since I've enjoyed watching a United game.
But we talked about it after the game, Craig. United, like, if United are bringing on their subs, who's going to come on thinking I'm going to make a difference here? Is Dalot going to come on and make a difference? No. Tellez won't make a difference because he knows they're going to be dropped the next game. Van de Beek be the same. He could come on and score a hat-trick and he still won't play for 4 games. Then you've whoever, Martial. Yeah. You have to defrost him every time you're bringing him onto the pitch. Like,
with that Ballon d'Or clause anyway, you won't have to pay that out.
Like, that's your
Shane, as a neutral or somewhat neutral, what would you make of it? Were United that bad, or do you think you got to give a bit of credit to Leicester?
I think they were brutal. Yeah, I think they were really bad. But I think the lads have hit the nail on the head. It's a combination of different things. I think when you look at the Solskjaer aspect of it, it's the emotion, it's the tie from the club to the player, I think, which is why they're trying to really show support from, or why there's been no hasty decisions. I think with some of the players, it's stature as well. They're not performing, they're making mistakes game after game, or maybe not game after game, but every so often, and they're not dropped because of who they are. There's a couple of different people I've been talking to, and I was saying, you need to kind of put Pogba in the middle. Again, as Ed said, if you look at him for France, he's fantastic. But as I think Neville and Carragher were talking the other night, he's not disciplined enough to play central midfield in the Premier League. And then my uncle, actually, who I was talking to from America, had made a good point. Although McTominay and Fred are not great, United do seem a little bit more stable at the back when they're there, because they tend to just sit and protect. So they don't look as vulnerable when they're playing, but you're not going to have any success with those two in the middle of the park. I think if you look at Pogba towards the end of last year playing off the left, he was brilliant at the start of this year. And as the lads on the Monday Night Football said, Ronaldo was a great signing, but more for the Premier League than he was for Man United, because he's going to want to be the main man there. So you're going to have to accommodate everybody else around him, which is just what the lads are talking about. Where do you fit these players in? Ronaldo wants to play he wants to play up top, but he wants to be able to drift to the left. So you need someone who has an understanding that when he moves out to the left, I need to kind of move a little bit more central. And I just think there's too many players there to accommodate in the system and the apparent style of play he has. And Neville made a good point the other day throughout the Leicester game, and even in the few games previous to that, Ronaldo and Fernandes, anytime there was a misplaced pass, they were throwing the arms up.
Yeah, the body language.
Yeah, not good. Sure. Then I was looking back,
but they've done that through their career. In fairness to them, it's not just over the last few weeks. And Ronaldo has definitely done it since.
That's very true. But when you need a team, when you need to dig in, that's not what you want. That's not what your teammates need to see. There was one that I watched back at. I can't remember what game it was. The one where Cavani chased the ball down the other side of the field. That was a ball on the inside to Ronaldo, and he threw his arms in the air and gave up.
That was actually embarrassing.
He was 20 yards closer than Cavani was.
That was embarrassing to watch. I remember watching that, and I'm like, I jumped up off the couch. I'm like, Ronaldo, you lazy fucker, will you go for it? And you just see Cavani
it wasn't going out play,
fucking miles away, and actually kept it in. And the whole crowd went insane with that. And that looks stupid on Ronaldo.
And I think this is the problem. Yeah, I think when things aren't going well, those kind of players aren't going to work their bollocks off. They're not going to run themselves into the ground.
If Fernandes does, in fairness to Fernandes, he does
most of the time. But
his running, I said it last week, when he does a lot of running, leaves a lot of spaces in behind.
Yeah.
And he's going pressing and chasing on his own. And United done it a lot. I've seen Ronaldo chase out to the left back, but there was nobody else chasing, so the left back had 3 or 4 options to play the ball, and all of a sudden there's a big 30-yard space behind them, and they walked forward and they pressed up with it, and they just kept doing it time and time again. Sancho done it then, and nobody else pressed with him. Matic pressed, left a big gap in beside because Pogba was waiting on the ball to break. They're always waiting on that counter-attacking opportunity to come, but it won't come without retrieving the ball back. Like, Leicester looked really good the other day because you gave him so much time on the ball. Tielemans just ran that was without Ndidi in there as well to play actually as a defensive player. Like, they looked better than they were because United played that bad, and United had whether they did have a game plan, it didn't work. They just constantly looked disorganized.
For how much longer is reputations going to dictate the style of United's play or the starting lineup? I mean, you've got Pogba. He's been living off a reputation for France at United. Harry Maguire has been great for England, but again, some poor performances for United. Even Solskjaer, I mean, don't get me wrong, probably in this day and age, I do like to see a manager getting a bit of time, and it seems like the hierarchy at United are backing it. They have come out and said unequivocally, he's our man, he's staying, and that's it. But for how much longer are those players' reputations going to dictate at United, or is it time to get rid of Solskjaer and get someone in with a big reputation? I mean, Antonio Conte's out sitting on a beach somewhere. Why are they not banging his door down?
He's the kind of guy I would love because of the way he is, the way he manages. He stands on this side and he won't care about your reputation or what you've done previously. It's what you can do, and let's try win something now.
Yeah,
he'd cut them down, whereas it's almost like Solskjaer is impressed by the stature of these players. Like, he keeps harping on about Ronaldo and how great he is, and he's the best player in the world. He was the best player in the world. He's fucking past being the best player in the world at this stage. You want a team full of Cavani's who leave their ego at the door and want to win and go out and try their best to win. That's United's policy. Of their transfer policy has been just spending big on players. United never, and maybe I'm wrong in this, but I genuinely don't remember buying superstars during Ferguson's era. There may have been a sprinkle of it, like the likes of Varane came in, but sure, he was shafted out as quick as he came in because he done nothing for us. But we always found the young up and coming player. We'd rob them off Spurs, we'd rob them off the West Hams. We'd take all these English up and coming players and build a team then who all worked the same way. We never went out and spent 70 million. Okay, the money's irrelevant to 20 years ago or even 10 years ago, but in comparison, we never went out, apart from maybe Rio Ferdinand, but again, he was a 20-year-old English centre half. We always paid that little premium, whereas now we're buying, if it's Varane, Maguire was shit. We had the opportunity to sign Van Dijk and we turned our nose up but because Maguire was English. I don't know, but he didn't prove anything or do anything better than Van Dijk done. Again, signing Cavani at 36, we had one of them every couple of years. We Henrik Larsson or Van Persie, some of the come in and just galvanise the team. Now we have a team full of these guys. It just is so much disorganisation in the whole squad. There's a team of superstars, and the lads said it in Monday Night Football where, a moment of brilliance will win a game for United and that will get us through, but it's horrible to watch. Absolutely horrible to watch.
For me, I'd be different. I wouldn't want the Conte, to be honest. I think that's just a short-term thing. He'll come in and he'll cause a lot of disruption, and he might even make it worse. I don't know. I'd probably prefer someone like a Ten Hag, a Zidane, something like that. Zidane's won it all. The players have to respect Zidane. But
any of us could win the Champions League with that Real Madrid.
But Ten Hag, what he's done with Ajax, and do you remember Ajax getting to the semis and all?
But Spurs got to the final that year. That was, I don't buy into the Ten Hag thing. Right, he did play great football, but again, that's something that started 30, 40 years ago at Ajax. He didn't bring this culture in. This is in place already. Zidane needs a fire under his ass as well. He's just he's just too suave and chilled.
I think
too French.
Too French, yeah. Too French. I didn't want to say.
I think Conte might do a Mourinho.
Conte's the right kind of man that United need. Someone to go in there and literally cut the players down, essentially.
Yeah.
You are not performing. Like, that graphic I have behind me there, right? There's 8. No, I just want to touch on it for a second and ask you a genuine question. There's 8 images there, right? I don't know if you can see them all. So there's the 2 Leicester ones in the middle, both led to goals. There's the one against Chelsea where he tackled Matic, which led to a Mount goal. There's the Partizan Belgrade one, which led to a goal, right?
Yeah.
And then there's the Spurs one where he decided to pull Luke Shaw out of the way to make a block, which led to a goal, right? So that's 6 out of 8 images have led to a goal. Then there was the Azpilicueta one, which VAR didn't even review, Stonewall penalty. And then there's the no-look defending. So that's 6 goal-contributing errors he's made in last 18 months, 24 months as the captain of Man United.
He shouldn't be the captain. He shouldn't be the captain.
Any other defender in the Premier League would be dropped from the squad and possibly sold for that many errors.
Wait, who are we going to put in? Who are we going to put in? Eric Bailly? Do you know what I mean? The options to come in.
I'd play Bailly.
Yeah, Eric Bailly does be drop kicking people in the neck in every game. He gets sent off every second game. Like, we don't have the options there. I think he's clumsy, Maguire. When I watch him, he has the odd good game.
He runs with his feet turned in.
He runs like his trousers are pulled down around his ankles.
Yeah. and he can't even run. So you've seen the clip from chasing back against Chelsea in the FA Cup. Yeah. Half the team were up the other end of the pitch and he's sauntering back through the middle of it. Like,
I don't get him being the captain. I don't get it. He doesn't deserve it. There's more leaders there. I see it in these games. Where I think
Fernandes is the only other leader.
I was thinking this last night. Fernandes.
He is the only one. He's
leads
the only
by example.
One. He doesn't care.
His example is
Matic
errors. And the squad are following suit.
Bruno screams and shouts at everyone. He doesn't give a shit if you love him or hate him. He wants to win. You can see
I like that. He was like that from day one when he first came in. I remember his very first game. He was demanding. But United used to have a team full of players like that. Yeah. Football has gone soft where you can't actually talk to players that way anymore. You never see De Gea screaming at his defenders for all these chances. Like Bruce and Schmeichel and Palace used to be grabbing each other by the throat. Jens Lehmann at Arsenal used to be a head case. He'd be running out doing all sorts of stuff. They don't now. They're high-fiving because the keepers had to make 5 saves in a row when they're all avoidable 10 minutes beforehand.
I've got to say, one of the most interesting quotes from the weekend was Paul Pogba saying the performance lacked maturity while he stood there with bright blue hair.
Yeah.
That's a good shout there.
Glad I didn't say that.
But anyway, lads, there is good news. It gets easier.
Yeah, I don't know.
Does it?
And then Liverpool,
that's sarcasm. Have you seen that one? The next pictures.
Liverpool the weekend.
I think we're going to get slapped by Liverpool.
Is that Old Trafford though? And United in recent years have done.
United will unbeaten.
You think?
No, I'm not saying they will, but they do tend to do this. You're giving out about them. Then we go on a run of 2 or 3 games against Chelsea, City, Liverpool, and you go, "Fuck, we're back."
Yeah.
And then then we go out and play Southampton or whoever it is, and just be shit again. It's easy to raise your game for Liverpool, so you can get up for the occasion. You can, whatever. But it's going to be a tough week.
Prediction for the weekend, lads?
Have you seen the next 10 games?
Yeah. Yeah.
Have you seen it?
It's a rough one for us. I think if we don't pick up results here, I think they might be saying they're back in Ollie, but at the end of the day, if it's not looking like we're going to get top 4 and we're going to drop out of the Champions League into the Europa, I think they'll get rid of him. I think they're just saying that to keep him happy at the minute. For the weekend, I don't think it matters that it's in Old Trafford, to be honest with you. I think Liverpool are too strong. Salah is just an absolute machine. We concede so many goals. We've conceded 10 already in 8 games when City and Chelsea have only conceded 3. I think they're going to rip our defence apart. I think we'll score, but I could see them beating us probably 4-2, 3-2 maybe.
Yeah. Cricket score.
Yeah, Shane?
Yeah, I'd say 3-0.
Really?
3-0 Liverpool, yeah.
I fancy United this weekend. 2-1.
Really?
I fancy them. Stick that in your accumulator. You're in a few quid.
Yeah, that'll be the highest ever price at home, I guarantee you.
Well, anyway, lads, that wraps up for tonight. We've gone over the time. Shane's done the budget on the graphics as well. So
we'll move on.
Right, moving on from them. Leicester have stopped the rot. Looks like Tottenham have too. Kicked off the Saudi era at Newcastle. What do we make of Newcastle? I mean, there's a big talk about this spending and all this, and we'll go into the sort of the Premier League, just the other clubs voting, blocking sponsorship, etc. We'll go into that a little bit later on. But is there not a danger that they've got a real danger of trying to stay in the league? I mean, that's first and foremost. And we're talking about how Bruce has been treated, but take the money out of it. He would be fighting for his job at the minute anyway, wouldn't he? You know, and is there not a danger that they really could go down? I mean, 100 million to spend in January. Fulham done it a few seasons ago in the summer, and it wasn't enough, and more in January. So, is that not a very real danger at the minute?
I think
depends on who they bring in, really, doesn't it? Player-wise,
yeah.
Fulham brought in players like Sherlock off Chelsea.
Steady us.
Yeah, but realistically, is he ever going to keep you in the league? He's a flair player who
he's a sub.
Needs players around them. You want grafters. To me, for United, going back to United really quickly, to look at John McGinn off Aston Villa is a player who just pure heart.
Yeah.
Can keep a ball, play with a ball, chase a ball, do everything you want. That's the kind of player you want to bring in.
Yeah.
If you're Newcastle looking to build up to the likes they're talking shit, Haaland and Mbappe, like, let's be realistic. They're years away from getting players like that. So they want players who are kind of established Premier League players who are actually going to put their heart out there and try to do something. If they bring in the right kind of player, they're safe. If they spend 30 million signing some shite striker from the Championship, it's not going to work for them. There's a massive step up.
Also, I mean, their price is going to be inflated anyway because they're Newcastle.
Yeah, straight away.
But is there not a danger that they're in the relegation zone anyway? There's going to be a sort of air of desperation that whoever they're going to get now is going to be even more inflated. Yeah. So where is 100 million really going to get you?
Nowhere.
Not far.
I think you're right. Bruce ultimately would have been fighting for his job. I don't think so early. Like right now, I think the pressure's come on earlier than what it would have been.
He's got in his jocks.
Yeah.
Should I be shorts?
Yes.
Sorry.
Shorts. You'd be seeing all sorts of boys to wear them.
I'm at home. It's casual. I pulled them up.
On Tuesday.
I think.
Sorry, Shane.
You're all right.
Stole the show there, Shane. Sorry.
I think Redknapp made a good point. Their priority is survival. No matter who they bring in, as Ed has just said, like they're going to pay massive amounts of money, and it won't be the right player. It won't be the grafter. It won't be the workhorses of the team. The Newcastle fans, they'll be linked with some of these names. I think, he's a superstar, if January comes around and they're in the bottom 3, and they're playing shit football, who's going to want to go there anyway?
But what manager is going to want to go there? Like,
yeah.
I can't remember who it was. It was on Soccer Saturday. They were talking about it. You know, the manager comes in knowing you're the stepping stone to the next guy. So you keep them up, you're gone. Now, fair enough, you might get paid off and get paid handsomely for it. But realistically, is Brendan Rodgers going to leave Leicester to go to Newcastle in 19th and coach Kieran Clark and Jeff Hendricks. I don't think so.
You had to go for the Irish lads, didn't you?
They're shit.
Yeah.
Fucking shit, lads.
They're our only Premier League players.
And they don't even get their game.
They won't be for much longer.
No.
No, but like,
And
really,
on the other side of
who's
it,
going to want to go to them?
go on, sorry.
I was just going to
Unless
say,
it's
I
right
think they need to sort out the defence. Go for a dunk. Just get solid defenders in. Try not concede, and you'll
Would
probably
you leave Brighton
survive.
to go to Newcastle if you're Dunk?
If Dunk is probably on about 60 grand at best at
Oh,
Brighton.
not even. That's probably Brighton's budget for the year.
Right, so yeah, I do think he would go if they throw 100 grand a week at him.
I'd go for it. No.
Telling me, I'll go ours with you.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying.
No, they,
There are players within the league that are really solid Premier League players. They're not going to win you the league, but they'll get them out of the relegation battle. They might get them lower mid-table. They're the types
they
of
have to have
players.
the right players to. Like Brighton for years were lucky to stay in the Premier League, and it was literally on the last day, I think, for 2 seasons in a row, and then they got rid of Chris Hughton. The right
They
player
was
had to come
Newcastle
in.
now.
Yeah, that's exactly it. But they brought in the right manager who played the right football and actually brought in players to play football. Whereas Dunk will go to Newcastle and go back to what he was 3 years ago when it was the last ditch tackle. It was slide tackle
What
to
if
clear
they
the
get
ball.
Potter though? What if they just raid them, take Potter? Potter will be able to get 1 or 2 players with him. He's a good
Just
manager.
buy Brighton, it'd be easier. Nicer weather, beach,
Not nicer.
and everything. Oh, we're changing from black and white to blue
But
and
look,
white.
Potter is a good potential. He's a good prospect manager, and to know that you will have financial backing, he'll never
think he
have
would
at
go.
Brighton.
I don't think, where I say I don't think Rodgers would go, I think Potter would be the kind of manager.
Yeah.
Newcastle are still a huge club, so
Yeah.
I think there could be more potential to take someone like him in. But again, it took him a season and a half to get Brighton playing football. He doesn't have that luxury if he goes to Newcastle in January or next week.
Yeah.
He has until February, really. And after that, their season could be over before he even gets going.
Of course. On the other side of it, Spurs. I mean, do they look like they've stopped the rot? Or
No.
I mean, they still look fragile.
Harry
on
Houdini
Sunday.
was found, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's back.
He's been fucking gone for a while, isn't he?
Well, he always gives Salah a head start in the Golden Boot anyway, doesn't he? So he's probably... What do we think?
Spurs they were just as bad as they usually are, to be honest.
Yeah.
Newcastle are just shite, to be
Yeah.
fair.
But
Like,
you're in bad place when Eric Dyer is your centre half.
yeah.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
yeah.
And he gets
He's
an own
another
goal.
Harry Maguire. Yeah, an own goal.
Yeah. Got a -1 in me fantasy football.
Yeah, I know. He stitched me up as well.
I think, you know what? Yeah, Kane scored again, but as we said, it was Newcastle. You know, Kane and Son, that link up. But
Apart from then,
Newcastle,
they've no real
they played
quality,
good
do they?
football, but it was Newcastle.
Mm.
It's like...
Yeah.
Like, they scraped the win against a really
Yeah.
poor Newcastle, and that's Spurs. But at least they're getting some wins, you know.
Yeah,
They're moving
that's
up the
fine
table.
if they're doing it all the time. You'll take that. You won't even care about what way you're playing once you're winning.
Yeah.
But they've gone so far backwards in the last 2 years. From that final, where they just let their squad totally age and said, right, we don't need to sign anyone. Pure
you know,
ignorance. Like,
They're fifth in the league, whether they're playing good
yeah,
or not.
we're 8 games in. It's very early.
I think Spurs will... I reckon if they don't, I don't know, shape up, they could be looking at an 8th or 9th place finish, I think.
Yeah, I think if
I
you
don't
ask
think
them-
they have the spine to finish in that top 5, top 6. Not at
Mm-hmm.
all. You look at it, like, think the Spurs of old. Alderweireld, Vertonghen, Eriksson, you know,
Players were
all these
quality.
players that would fight for you. Like, they, as Ed said, they let them age, then they let them go, and they never fucking replaced them. You know,
All these
Joe
guys were-
Rogan from Swansea will come in and he'll be... he's not going to be an Alderweireld.
No, far from. These guys were all covering 12 to 14 kilometres every game, and
Yeah.
they didn't have depth in their squad, so they kept the squad and played the same squad in the Carabao Cup, the FA Cup, and they got places, in fairness to them. They, for Spurs, semi-finals, as good as winning a bleeding trophy,
Yeah.
but they never replaced him. Mourinho was a snatch and grab job. I don't know why they thought he was going to do anything.
Mad decision to bring him in.
Yeah. I think...
But
yeah.
hit the ego that Mourinho had, or the reputation in the new stadium, I think they probably thought it would give everyone a lift, but it did for a couple of weeks. Dele Alli even looked like he could play football for about 3-4 weeks, and then he went back out shagging Guardiola's missus or daughter. Again, another player who's more concerned about his fucking boohoo contracts and his hairstyles than just getting out and playing football. He was like, for me, he was the kind of player I would have loved in United to sign when he was in his prime.
That's what Fergie said, wasn't it?
Funny though, you say prime. What was that?
20, when he was 20, he's like 23 or 24 now. But he played on the edge. You didn't know if he was going to punch somebody, kick somebody, or score a hat trick. He was class. He caused damage to Chelsea nearly every game he played against us. He was mad for a goal against us, but I don't know what it is at Spurs. Even Ericsson leaving, not really replacing him with quality players they brought in. And Ndombele, they brought him. 6 months later, they were selling him at a loss.
I like him.
If he's coached properly, I think he can be good. Yeah, I think so.
He's really good.
He did actually have the cheek to come out though and say in the summer that he thinks he's going to move on from Spurs now after he's done absolutely nothing at all.
Like
they wanted him out for so long. What was he going to say? No, I want to stay.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? He has so much potential. Like, he's so good on the ball. If you just got a manager in with a little bit of discipline, a little bit of, I don't know, intuition to fine tune his game, I think he could be unbelievable.
They can have Ollie. Ollie will get the best out.
If they gave Nuno a few bob and another season, I think he unearths little gems. Now all of them come from Portugal through George Mendes, but he has an eye for a player. People talk about him being negative. Everybody loved watching Wolves for 2 seasons when they first came up into the Premier League, and they were taking points off all the big boys. But now all of a sudden,
points off us all the time.
He's Mourinho Jr.
Yeah,
used to Mitch. He liked managers getting a bit of time. So do I, to be honest.
Well, I just don't like this. I mean, Fulham. It's the only way I'm going to get Fulham into this.
You have a manager per month, like a calendar, isn't it?
We had Jokanovic get us up into the Premiership after all the first time we got into the Premiership after a long time, and he got till January and got sacked. And that's someone who's given the fans they would say themselves, some of the best experiences they've had, and then you just don't stick by him. I mean, I'd much rather give a manager time on the training pitch than suddenly look for a quick fix. And let's face it, what managers are there more than average of 3 years now anyway? It's such a results-driven business. Personally, for me, it's not always the answer. And I think Watford are going to find that this year as well. They've got rid of someone, got Ranieri in. I'm just not a fan of it. But this weekend, Spurs travel to West Ham. What do we think?
West Ham.
Yeah.
Across the board?
They look like such a unit now, to be fair. They're all playing for each other, fighting for each other. They're like Souček and Chufal, they were snips. Them two boys do not stop running. They will run through glass for you.
Again, that's having the right players in, isn't it?
Antonio will knock out Eric Dyer just by looking at him. Do you know what I mean?
I
think West Ham will beat them. Yeah,
I think last season was a 3-0. That kind of crazy comeback last season where the Spurs were 3-0 up. That would be in West Ham's mind as well. You know, we can beat this. All we need to do is do whatever we done. But Spurs beat themselves probably because of that one result last season.
Yeah, it's at West Ham as well, so you know it's going to be a bit tasty. I agree with you. I think West Ham will beat this weekend. Newcastle got a. I wouldn't even say it's a 6-pointer really. Palace are doing all right. They're away to Crystal Palace on Saturday.
They were unlucky last night.
They look well.
Yeah. They're playing some good football, but you know what? We played them first game of the season. And even then, we won 3-0. But Palace, they played good ball. You could see the movement was there from the full-backs, the central midfielders. They're workhorses. You know, they're the kind of players Newcastle need. But I think Palace will win. Yeah, I think it could be a 2-1, 2-0. I think there'd be too much of a good football inside for Newcastle. Newcastle show you at the back.
I think Vieira is changed Palace from what Hodgson was doing, and. He's on interview every game now. He's working for that Arsenal job, and he's doing a really good job with them. So I'd say Palace. I think they got so unlucky against Arsenal. I'd say Palace will take that one. Yeah. Who's it? Newcastle.
Newcastle at Palace.
At Palace, 2-0 Palace.
Yeah, 2-0, 2-1. I reckon maybe. Yeah.
Ed?
Yeah, I fancy Palace as well. I think they're building something. Roy Hodgson built something, probably put their foundations down for a good Premier League team.
Yeah.
But to step them on now and actively play football rather than just kind of sit on the edge of the box, hope for a free kick, hope for a corner, whatever it may be. Palace
Good signings there as well.
Yeah, you could sign them.
They did well to keep
good. Gallagher from Chelsea has been phenomenal. Like he's been
great hair
good last year as well, but like he's come on.
What was that, Ed?
He's great hair. Hasn't he though?
It's fantastic.
None of this fucking blue shit hanging everywhere.
You now, but,
I remember you with that hair now, Shane, in the highlight. Don't say he's very good.
Sticking with Palace, Arsenal still stuttering start to the season. I mean, first half yesterday they looked decent, to be fair, and then again their game management is just. I mean, you could say it to you blue in the face. It's just poor.
Shit.
Not really any maturity. On the other hand, you've got Vieira, who myself slated him already before he started the season. I thought he was a bad appointment. Didn't have a great record, great pedigree as a player, but not a great record as a manager.
Yeah.
But he seems like he started well. He's doing a good job. Do you think, firstly, he's going to have enough to keep Palace up? And secondly, Arsenal are going to have enough when it comes to the European running?
Firstly, yes, he'll keep Palace up. I think he'll keep them playing football. I think Palace could be looking at anywhere from 10th to 13th, I think, is theirs for the take. And if they can stay consistent and pick up the results at home, Selhurst Park's a tough place to go to. No, Arsenal will struggle. As you said, it's game management. You know, they have decent players there, but it's game.
Shit, fucking team, man.
Arsenal are fucking dog shit. Like,
tell us what you really think.
They're in the toilet. You know what I mean? Like, and they're a huge club. They should be way better. But we've, top to the bottom, they're awful. I've watched a few of their games. They're shocking. Aubameyang is just not the same player.
No.
And he saved them for a few years. That's why they were somewhat decent. But now he's fallen off. They're struggling. They have some good individual players, but they're worse than United. Do you know what I mean? Like, we have good players.
Another Spurs, I think. Like, Aubameyang first half last night really looked up for it.
Yeah.
And then as the second half went on, just goes out of him. There's something, I don't know what it is.
He's carrying the whole team, though. They are all relying on him. And he's been doing that for like 4 years now. Do you know what I mean?
That's typical of him, though. He fades in and out of games, but he's just not been able to fade back in lately, or over the last 6, 8, 9 months, whatever it is, I think that continues to struggle.
Yeah.
Is there an element that, like, against Palace, they didn't get a rubber degree? I mean, you think MacArthur? There's quite.
That's a red card.
I mean, that could have been a sending off, and then all of a sudden the game's different. Arsenal go on and win by a few goals, and then everyone's praising Arsenal back. Is that not the margins at this level? That one thing could turn the tide for them. But
sometimes that should play in your favour as well. You feel hard done by that. We didn't get that decision. He should have been sent off. Players either react to it and step up their game and show their quality then, or they just feel sorry for themselves and go into their shell like Arsenal done. They see it on Sky Sports or BT or whatever it is when the matches are on. They talk about their lack of leadership, and United have it as well. There's nobody kind of pulling anyone out. The whole Arsenal squad is weak. They've moments of brilliance of Aubameyang, Lacazette, Saka, but again, it's similar to United players. They can go missing for weeks on end and not do anything.
Yeah,
and then they score a screamer and they're world beaters all of a sudden. If Arsenal finish top 9, they should be happy with that. Their squad is really poor.
Like, they too much on the shoulders of Saka, Smith Rowe, Odegaard, even Ben White in defence, even Ramsdale in goal. These are all young players. And they're carrying Arsenal. Arsenal had Adams, Keown, all
Men,
these
but
big
they
men
had
players.
bruisers. These are all soft. Like your man Ben
Yeah.
White on an interview today. I don't even watch football. My
Yeah.
name is Benjamin.
Yeah.
Don't call
Don't
me.
call me
fucking
Benjamin.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's like,
That's all right.
only rolled off the sunbed he did, and he's saying, "Oh, call me Benjamin." We're not even- that's not what Arsenal were about.